So let's come into a comfortable seat. Today, I would love us to work on outer hip opening. I think we did a class a couple of weeks ago, which was inner thigh. And the outer hips are not just about the buttocks and the legs, but it also has a lot to do with our sciatic nerve. And when we have, pain down the leg or sacroiliac instability, it's really nice to open up that area and also engage that area and be aware of that area. So everything that we do today is really going to be about bringing awareness to the outer hips, bringing our attention there. And I also wanted to focus today again on that beautiful meditation, the ISHTA Diksha, which has those three parts to it, where we start by balancing left and right sides of the body and brain, and then we move into the Kriya, channeling the energy up and down the spine, and then bringing the awareness either to the heart or the midbrain, depending on how you feel this morning. So to start off with, we're going to actually come into Padadira-asana. So bringing your four fingers underneath your armpits and letting your elbows drop. And let's drop our chin a little bit as well for a moment. Feeling the back of the neck long. Feel your chest rising up to your chin. And then just start to breathe into your ribs. Feeling the expansion of your breath into your hands. And just feel yourself settling into your breath, settling into your body. Feeling your sitting bones resting on the floor. Feeling the weight slightly back. And maybe you'd like to count the length of your inhalation and the length of your exhalation. Seeing if you can have an even count. And then with your eyes closed, gaze to the right. Just hold it there for a moment as you're doing this breath. And then bring the gaze back to center. And then gaze to the left, keeping your eyes closed. And bring your awareness back to center. And then slowly releasing your hands. You're going to take your hands, I'm just going to take my glasses off for a moment. So you're just going to take your hands to that part where your hairline is. And then you're going to slide your hands over the top of your nose, over your lips, all the way down the front of your body, all the way down to your pubic line. And then you're going to bring the other hand down. So the skin is one of the areas of the body that when we bring our hands to our skin, it helps the brain to feel safe. It also helps us to wake up in the morning. So because you guys are tuning in, I'm just going to take a moment to. So as you move one hand down the center line of the body, you're going to bring the other hand down. This is a grounding exercise. You might notice that you want to take a deeper breath as you're doing this. And then let's bring the hands together. And we're just going to brush the tops of the hands and the bottoms of the hands and then the tops. And then we're just going to do some little finger exercises. So bring the thumb and index finger together, the middle finger thumb together, the ring finger thumb together, the little finger thumb, and just go back the way you came. So thumb, index, middle, little, And just keep doing that a few times just to wake up the brain, especially if you're getting up really early to do this practice. Okay, now I'm just going to come a little bit closer so you can see this next exercise. So we're doing thumb, ring, middle, yeah, and we're just doing that a few times. But now we're going to, with the left hand, start with the thumb and little finger, and with the right hand, we're going to start with the thumb and the index finger, and then we're going to go down like that. So it is a brain exercise. Thumb, ring finger, index. So yeah, if you can see. So you're starting with your little finger, right? Little finger and thumb, and then going down. Let's see how you go with that. And then if that's easy for you, if it starts to go faster, then you're going to raise one hand and lower the other like that. Okay? And what these exercises do is they work with the frontal lobe, and then when you start to move up and down like this, it's the parietal lobe. So it's all about spatial awareness, and it literally wakes up your brain and increases focus, right? So it's finger yoga. All right, just do 2 more rounds. That's great. That's great. All right, and then just release your hands. All right, and then I'll just slide myself back. All right, and then let's interlace the fingers and raise the arms up. Draw your chin into your chest and then lift up a little higher and lean to the right. And then come back to center and lean to the left. And then come back to center, lower the arms, cross at the shins, and we're going to start with our first outer hip exercise. We're just going to gently flex through the feet and walk ourselves forward until you feel just that slight stretching of the fascia, right? So starting to feel that your buttocks is getting a little bit of a stretch, but keep your body upright. Don't go all the way down. Keep flexing your feet. And if it's too strong for the first stretch of the day, you can squeeze your buttocks together and that will take some of the pressure out. And then let your head relax and then come into your breath. Inhalation, exhalation, feeling the stretch in the back of your body. So outer hip poses, things like pigeon pose, Brahmasana, coming into a Pavrita Parsvakonasana. Those are the kinds of poses we'll be exploring today. All right, and then gently walk yourself back upright and changing. So bringing the other shin in front, flexing through the feet, and gently walking yourself forwards. Crown of the head in line with the tail, breathing into the back of your body. And if you feel any tension behind your shoulders, feel free to have a little bit of a round in your upper back and let your head hang. If you feel like you're opening a little bit and you want to come further forward, you could go ahead and do that. So make this your own pose. All right, and then slowly coming back. All right, and then we're going to do, just to release out of that, we'll just have our legs crossed and just do a little bit of rocking from side to side. Again, these rocking motions are so nourishing for our brain, our body. They remind us of, I guess, being in the womb, being in that watery environment. And then taking the arm overhead and then just rounding the upper spine and going the other way. So a little bit of a release through the upper back. So you go to the side, chin into the chest, round, and come back up. That's it. And feel like you're in a swing, right? So you're swinging to one side and swinging to the other side, and you're being propelled by this hand, right? So the hand pushes you off to the other side and pushes you off to the other side. All right, and then from here, let's come on to our hands and knees. And we're going to continue rocking. So we're going to rock back and forth. So coming forwards, going back, coming forwards, going back just a few times. Keep the toes tucked under. If it's too strong on your hands, don't forget you can go onto your forearms as well if it feels like it's hurting. All right, now we're going to shift the weight to the right knee and pick up the left leg. And then we're going to take that knee out to the side and back. So we're going to do this a few times. This is going to activate that outer left buttock, right? So we're doing things to be aware of our outer hip. So taking it out to the side at hip height and then back, opening the chest. One more, out to the side and back, opening the chest. And then we'll do the other side. So lifting the right knee, look to the right knee as you take it to the side and come up. Look to the right knee, inhale, come up. Exhale into the pose. Inhale, come up. Exhale into the pose. Inhale, come up. All right, and then release, tucking the toes under. Now bring yourself forward, lift the sitting bones high, come into down dog. All right, a little bit of a walk through down dog, maybe bending one leg and straightening the other, getting a nice stretch into your left calf muscle. And then straightening the right leg and bending the left knee. All right, and now you're going to lift that leg out to the side and bring it back. Lift the left leg out to the side and bring it back. One more, left leg out to the side and bring it back. And then changing to the other side. Right leg out to the side. I'm going to have to go on the other way, otherwise I'm going to hit the wall. So right leg out to the side, right leg back. Right leg out to the side, right leg back. Right leg out to the side, right leg back. Last one, right leg out to the side, right leg back. Okay, and now you can feel your outer hips, right? So you're going to raise that right leg into the air and bring the right shin onto the floor in front of you. Keep your hands on the floor and just gently, really gently, roll to the right buttock. You can even let your whole body sort of twist here. That's okay. And then come back to center and roll to the right buttock and come back to center and roll to the right buttock and come back to center and roll and come back to center and then step back into down dog. And we'll do that on the other side, raising the left leg, stepping the left shin onto the floor in front, and then roll to the left and back to the center and roll to the left and back to the center. We're doing 4 rounds, left and back to center and roll to the left and back to center and then back onto the hands and knees, tuck the toes under, lift the sitting bones high. And one more time, bend the right leg, straighten the left, and then bend the left leg, straighten the right. And then slowly walk your feet towards your hands. And we'll do that same thing where we're going to bend the right leg and you'll feel it in the outer hip here and through the back of the leg. And if it's too strong to do it with your hands on the floor, use your block, come into that Ardha Uttanasana position and then bend. And just hold for a moment. So it can be quite strong. And then straighten and bend the other way. Maybe not so strong on this side. And straighten and bend the other way. And straighten and bend the other way. All right, and then moving, if you have a block, out of the way, softening the knees. And then slowly lengthen through the spine. Reach the arms out in front. Come into a kind of extended chair pose or what we might call a prepare position with the knees bent and then standing upright. All right, so let's come into sun salutation. So having the toes touching and the heels slightly apart, bringing the palms to touch. Let's interlace the fingers, raise the arms up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step your body back in one long line. Hold here for a moment. Slowly lower the knees, bend the elbows, move the hands back and lift up into up dog. Look straight ahead. Just take a moment here, straightening the arms, and then roll over the toes, pressing back into down dog. Long, slow breath here. Look to your hand, step or jump the feet forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raise the arms all the way up, interlacing the fingers and hands to the center of the heart. Let's go again. Inhale. Exhale, take yourself forwards. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, step or jump back. Let's go straight down to chaturanga if we can, or onto the floor. Roll through into up dog. Roll over the toes. Coming into down dog. Take a breath. Look to your hands. Step or jump the feet forward, lengthening the spine. Exhale, fold. Interlace the fingers. Come all the way up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, you can jump back, lower chaturanga, roll through up dog. Exhale, down dog. Raise the right leg into the air. Step the right foot in between the hands and just bring yourself upright. All right, from here, you're going to raise the arms up. We're going to twist to the right and then lengthen out and just hold here for a moment. Bring your forearm to your thigh and just reach the other arm up and feel that slight opening through the outer hip. Bring your hands down to the floor. Come into a vinyasa here. Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Raise the left leg into the air. Step the left foot in between the hands. Bring your body upright. Come into lunge. Raise the arms. Open out to the side and then lengthen. You can bring your forearm to your thigh and raise the other arm up. See if you can feel that stretch through the outer hip. Hands to the floor, step back, come into plank position, lower chaturanga, roll through up dog, exhale, coming into down dog. All right, look to your hands, bend your knees, step or jump your feet forward, lengthening through the front of your spine. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, interlace the fingers, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to the center of the heart. Again, raising the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, take yourself back. Body in one long line. Okay, walk the toes to touch. Roll to the outside of your left foot. Step your right foot across. Another outer hip opener. Raise your arm into the air. Come onto your forearm if it's too strong. Lift your buttocks as much as you can so you really feel that stretch through the outer hip. All right, bring the hands down, step back. You can rest in down dog or you can take chaturanga, up dog, down dog. All right, from here we're going to roll into plank, bring yourself into plank, roll over onto the outside of the right foot and step the left foot across. Lift the buttocks as much as you can. You can always come onto your forearm or just have your knee down if it's too strong, right? So give yourself that option if you feel better doing it that way. Lift your buttocks, feel that outer hip. All right, hands down to the floor. Step back, down dog. Look to your hands, bend your knees. Step or jump yourself forward. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, interlace the fingers, come up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Again, raise the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back. Plank position. Lower chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. All right, step the right foot in between the hands. Left hand on the floor. Rotate to the right. Another twist. Lift your left hip as much as you can. And just feel like you're really drawing your torso open, drawing your middle finger behind you. Hands to the floor, step back, down dog. Step the left foot in between the hands, bring the right hand to the floor, raise the left arm up, and then open a little bit further. So you're really stretching through that outer hip. Breathe, inhale, exhale. Hand to the floor, step back, down dog. Look to the hands, step or jump the feet forward. Bend the knees, reach the arms out in front. Come into chair. Hands to the center of the heart. Hook the upper left arm against the outer right thigh. Feel that stretch and opening through the right buttock. Press the palms to touch. Look down, make sure your knees are lined up. Breathe. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, other side. Hook that upper arm. Lengthen the spine. Draw the hip back. Press the palms to touch. Sit as low as you can. Squeeze the inner thighs. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise halfway. Step or jump back. Plank position. Lower to the floor. Move the hands back. Lift into up dog. Roll over the toes, coming into down dog. All right, step the right foot forward. Step the left foot to the left side of the mat. So you've got a line down the center of your mat, and your right foot's on one side, your left foot's on the other. If you have a block, place the block underneath the left palm, which is underneath the left shoulder. Bring the right hand into the right seam of the hip or the crease line of the hip. Lengthen and then rotate your torso. And then from there, drop into your right hip and raise your right arm so you literally feel that stretch opening into the right buttock. And raise the arm. Squeeze the inner thighs and press into the big toe, little toe side of each foot. One more breath. And hands to the floor. You can take a vinyasa if you're feeling energetic this morning, or just stay in down dog. Step the left foot in between the hands. Step the right foot to the right side of the mat. Now, if you're doing this without a block, your hand is on the floor. You're lengthening. Your thumb is in your hip crease. You're lengthening your spine. You're rotating. And then you're lifting. It's like I'm putting my bum out to the side of the mat. So I'm collapsing a bit. That's why I want to use my block so that I stay a little bit more upright when I do this. So it's a little bit more challenging on this side. And you're really literally going against how we normally do this. You're letting this hip come forward. One more breath. All right, and release. Step back, down dog. Let's come onto our hands and knees for a moment. Let's take the big toes together, knees wide, and take a stretch forward. Let your forehead relax on the floor. Feel the warmth and heat in your body. A couple of breaths here. All right, let's come back into down dog. So we're gonna step the feet forwards, lengthen through the front of the spine. Exhale, fold forward. And inhale, interlace the fingers and come up. So you might feel more comfortable using a sash or a belt here. I'm going to demonstrate without a belt today. And you might be comfortable doing this at the wall. We're going to do an outer hip balancing posture. So you're going to shift your weight to your left foot, pick up your right foot, and you can just hold underneath your thigh if you like. I was a little bit enthusiastic there, over enthusiastic. All right, so either you can hold on to the outside of the thigh and rotate your torso, or you can take hold of the outside of your foot and come into a revolved Hasta Padangustasana, Pravrita Hasta Padangustasana, right? Like that. And you'll feel it all the way through that outer hip. So choose the variation that feels doable for you and just hold it for a moment. And then release. Shake out your legs. And we'll do the other side. Okay, so Lifting the leg, holding behind the thigh for a moment, getting your balance. Holding on to the outside of the thigh and twisting, or taking hold of the foot and lengthening forward, feeling that stretch through the outer hip. So these are all the standing outer hip openers that I can think of. One more breath, and then slowly release. All right, let's stand with our feet a little bit wide apart, and let's do a little bit of rocking. So you're going to rock from the back and forwards in one direction. And as you're doing this, think about your feet. What are your feet doing? See if you can actually roll around on your feet. So, shoes, indoor life, sitting down all the time, we miss that connection with the earth. And all these little exercises that we do in yoga are increasing our proprioception, helping us to know where we are in space, helping our brain to feel safe. So with so much stress around us, so much input from the world, it's very hard to feel where we are in space. But if we can just do these little simple exercises, it can really help us to come back to that place where our nervous system is more resilient. Okay. All right. So to come out of that, we're going to do another balancing outer hip opener. You're going to shift your weight to your right foot, and you're going to cross your left ankle over your thigh and just above your knee, and then you're just going to bring yourself down. Now, if this is really challenging and you have a wall handy, you can actually do this with your back to a wall. So I'll demonstrate here so you can see from the side. So your feet are a little bit away, and then you bring your foot here, and then you just take yourself forward. So I've got my buttocks resting against the wall. Really flex through your foot. And make sure that your standing foot is parallel, that it's not slightly splayed out. And just connect with that stretch through the outer hip. If you feel comfortable bringing your hands to the floor, you can try that, especially if you're at the wall. But you can also do it in the center of the room. And then slowly come up. Shake out your legs. And let's do the other side. So crossing the foot over, oops, and then bringing the forearms to the shin and lengthening the spine. So for most of my life, right, I've been doing yoga, except for the first 17 years where I didn't do yoga. And what I've noticed as I've gotten older is some things are, yeah, just as the body's aging, maybe my balance is a bit different, and I don't feel bad about having to use props to help me cope. So I encourage you to listen to your body, not to try to go against what you feel you need to stay balanced. All right, and then slowly coming up. And then let's take our legs wide for a moment, and we're going to do a little bit of circling with the arms. One way and then the other way. And you don't have to go too deep. This is just to release the buttocks and maybe just bring a little bit more warmth into that buttock area. So if we turn out the leg, we squeeze the buttocks, right? And we can also stretch the buttocks when the legs are turned out. All right, and just relax. All right, so let's make our way down to the floor. We're going to raise the arms up, take a big breath, and exhale. We're going to soften forwards, and we'll step ourselves back into down dog. And we're going to come into pigeon pose. I'm going to do some variations now from pigeon pose. So raising your right leg into the air, let's rotate out for a moment. Bend the knee, drawing the heel towards the buttocks, and feel the stretch through your thigh. Really looking underneath your armpit. You can draw your abdomen back to your spine.
Feel weight even between your thumb and index finger on both hands. And then draw the knee into the chest and bring your shin to the floor in front of you so that your heel is slightly forwards and lined up with the front of your groin. And then if you feel that it's too hard to just come here without any kind of propping, put a block underneath your buttocks. It's okay. And if you have a lot of openness in your hip flexor, you could always bring your foot forward, but only if that's truly comfortable for you and safe. And then from here, we're going to come forward. So we're going to turn this into a longer hold. You can rest one fist on top of the other as you come forwards. You can reach your arms right out in front of you. You know, whatever you feel you need to hold this pose. Earlier on in the session, we were moving back and forth, but now I encourage you just to be still here. Again, if you feel like it's too strong or too much pressure there, you can squeeze the buttocks, which will help externally rotate the thigh. Be aware of the extended leg. Maybe it's more comfortable to have the toe tucked under, or however you want to experience it. And we're going to turn this into a twist. So reaching your right arm out, you're going to slide your left arm underneath. And just rest there for a moment. So it's like thread the needle, but you're in pigeon pose. And it should increase the stretch on your outer right buttock. All right, and then slowly come back up and just extend that left leg out to the side. Just come here for a moment and then slide down and just stretch out that right side of your body. You can point your knee towards the ceiling, hold on to the ankle. Just breathe. All right, and then releasing and coming up. All right, and then staying in that seated position, we're going to just hold the foot. So you're going to hold one hand behind the knee and one hand on the foot. And you could even loop the foot, press the foot into the elbow crease if that feels comfortable for you. And just hold here, just having your body upright. Now, it might not look like this, right? Your foot might be right down here or your knee might be right down here. Don't expect, don't worry if it doesn't look exactly like what I'm demonstrating. You're doing it how your body feels that stretch in the outer hip, right? And we're going to turn it into this. So you're going to bring your foot up and then bring your fingertips behind you and flex through the foot and just rotate that thigh open a little bit more. So try not to bring it from the knee, bring it from the thigh and rotate it and open your chest and breathe. Now, either you can stay here, especially if you feel like this is enough for you, you're challenged, especially if you've got the tightness in a shallow hip socket. In other words, you don't have as much freedom of movement in your hip joint. But for those of us who want to give it a go, we can lower the shin down and place that knee, that foot, just above the knee, like we did when we were in the standing position, and then see if we can drop that other knee towards the foot. And to get into that a little bit better, you lean away from the right leg towards the left leg, and then sometimes it brings
the knee to meet the foot, and then just stay upright. If you're really open here, you've got, a lot of freedom of movement in the hip joint, you can come forwards. Otherwise, stay in your Byron Bay beach pose. And for those who feel like they've had enough of that variation, you can come into Supta Brahmasana, right? And just take a moment here. So you're either in a seated Brahmasana position or Supta Brahmasana. And then if you're in the reclining position, just cross the thighs and hold on to the shins. If you're in the seated position, right, you're here, you're going to cross the thighs and hold on to the feet. And we'll just stay here for a moment. So a lot of work into the outer hips. Keep squeezing the buttocks. If it starts to feel like it's too much, come out of it. Yeah, don't force it. Let's just close the eyes, whether you're lying down with the thighs crossed or you're seated with the thighs crossed. Just close your eyes for a moment. So we hold a lot of tension in our hips. And so just notice, we're working to release that energy, free that energy up. Okay, and then just extend your legs forward for a moment. We're going to do all of that on the other side. So we're going to come back into down dog. And you're going to lift your left leg into the air. And bend your left knee and look underneath your left armpit. Just take a moment here. And then draw that shin to the floor. And actually, it should be quite warm now because we've been working this side. And remembering you can put something underneath your buttocks. And then coming forwards and just resting in a way that's comfortable to you. So something you might like to play with in this position, especially if you're experiencing quite a bit of tension, is, again, the gaze, the drishti. So you can hold the gaze in the midbrain, like the point in between the eyebrows. Or you could move your gaze to the left. Or move your gaze to the right. And then bring the gaze back to center. The eyes are closed or open when you do this. And then let's turn this into a twist. So reaching your left arm out and bringing your right arm down. And just stretching through the right outer shoulder. Maybe you're looking underneath your left armpit or your eyes are closed. You'll feel a deeper stretch in the outer hip. You might want to squeeze the buttocks. And slowly come up. Just sitting to the side. And let's stretch out for a moment.
And then coming up, going to place the sole of the foot into the inside seam of the leg. And also remember, you can hold on behind the thigh or bring your fingers to cross. Just sitting tall, shoulders relaxed. And then bringing your foot up. I'll just take a moment here. So this is just a precursor to coming into Brahmasana, but you can hold this for a long time, especially if it's comfortable for you. And then either taking yourself down and holding on behind the thigh, bringing the elbow into the right thigh. Or if you'd like to try the Supta Brahmasana on the other side, seeing how that feels. And again, you can tip and come back. So you'll notice maybe one side feels less tight than the other. That I think it has a lot to do with the sacrum and whether one hip sits naturally forward than another. So it's not like a mysterious thing. It's more just an anatomical thing that always means that one side is stronger than the other or, tighter than the other. And you might like to come forwards if that's comfortable for you, if you can manage it without too much pressure. And then if you're lying down, you would cross your legs. And if you're seated, you would also cross your legs. Again, we'll just sit here for a moment. Okay. And then again, let's just take the legs wide. Just sitting upright for a moment. See if you can feel a little bit of a release through the buttocks. And then take your legs out in front. We're going to do another little bit of a somatic exercise, just rocking on the buttocks, just to release any tension in the buttock area, moving back and forth. So we should feel quite a lot of circulation there now. And then shaking the legs. And maybe just doing a little bit of hitting the legs. Try not to get mat burn. All right, and then let's come back into our cross-legged seat or Siddhasana seat, one heel in front of the other. So we're going to move now into this beautiful practice called the ISHTA Diksha. Diksha means initiation, and Ishta is the favored one, the one that we love the most, the one that we resonate with. So what do we love the most? We actually love ourselves. And that's actually a beautiful thing. So when we do these Kriya practices, we focus the mind, we create space, an opening to remember the beauty that is ourselves. So we're going to start with a alternate nostril breathing practice.
So making a fist, extending your thumb, your ring finger, and your little finger, and bringing your elbow close in. Let your chin drop. Close your right nostril and gently inhale through your left. At the top of the inhalation, hold block both nostrils. And when you're ready, gently inhale through your right, exhale through your right nostril. At the bottom of your exhalation, breathe in through the right nostril. At the top, hold block both nostrils. Just brief pause and breathe out through the left nostril. We're going to do a few more rounds. So breathing in, hold block both nostrils, and breathing out. And breathing in. Hold block both nostrils, and breathing out. And breathing in. Hold block both nostrils, and breathing out. And breathing in. Hold block both nostrils, and breathing out. Keep your eyes closed if they're not closed already. And just sit quietly for a few moments. See if you can feel your awareness resting in the center of your brain. Notice any changes in your breath. Now bring your awareness to the bottom of your body. Rest your awareness in between your pubic bone and your tailbone. And imagine there a ball of light, like a very small sun. And as you inhale, that ball of light travels up from the pelvic floor, up the center line of your spine, all the way to the middle of your brain. And as you exhale, that light travels from the midbrain down the center line of the spine to the very bottom of your body. As you inhale, the breath flows from the base, from the pelvic floor, all the way up to the midbrain. And as you exhale from midbrain, center line of the spine down to base. Let it be a smooth, steady Ujjayi breath. If you can't visualize, just focus on the breath. But if you can imagine that ball of light traveling up the center line of your spine to the midbrain and down again, just go ahead and visualize that. Now, if you feel like your mind is focused, we're going to add an internal chant of the mantra hum from base up to the midbrain, the sound traveling inside the ball of light. And from the midbrain back down to the base. Sa. The word hamsa means swan. So it's a glide of the breath from the base all the way up to the midbrain. Hum. And from the midbrain down to the base. Sa. Hum. Base to midbrain. Sa. Midbrain to base. Hum. Base to midbrain. Sa. And keep going a few more rounds in your own timing. All right, if you start to feel like you're becoming quite calm and your breath is getting slower and stiller, that's a sign that your energy is lifting up to Agya chakra, to the midbrain. So lick a finger and place a drop of saliva on your third eye point. And you might even like to tap there a few times, just gently. And then let your awareness rest there. Now, if your mind feels focused today, you can internally chant the mantra Om right in the midbrain. Om. But if you find that as soon as you start, your mind is wandering, then choose the mantra Mang, M-A-N-G. Mang is a Tibetan mantra, and it focuses the mind. It helps to draw the mind to the midbrain. So either choose Om or Mang. If you feel like resting your awareness in the midbrain is very ungrounding, then you can bring your awareness to your heart center, and there you can chant Yum, Yum. So just notice where your energy floats to and what it's doing, and you choose the mantra that feels right for you. Either Om, if you're still and focused, Mang, if the mind is wandering, or Yum at the heart center if you're feeling ungrounded, like you're taking off. And let's stay here together just a few moments, internally chanting your mantra, the mantra that feels right for this practice. Keep your gaze right at the midbrain. Focus the drishti, the gaze. Now let your energy gently lift up to the space between the brain and the top of the skull. Just rest there. Maybe there's a color or a sensation. All right, and then gently let your tongue come to the roof of your mouth and bring your palms to touch. You might like to rub your palms together, remembering that our hands and rubbing our hands together, it brings us back to the body and helps that brain, the brain to feel safe. And then let your hands separate a little bit and just feel the prana, the shakti in between the hands. And then bring your hands to your eyes. Slide your hands down your face, into the back of your neck, around to the throat in front, down to your heart, down to your navel, and slide your hands down your thighs, into your calf muscles, into the soles of your feet, rubbing from your big toe down to your little toe. And then lie yourself back for relaxation, for Shavasana. Just getting yourself comfortable. So in Shavasana, just notice how you feel after that practice. Where are the areas that are warm in your body? Where are the areas that are open? Be aware of your mind. Something that our teacher Swamiji shared with us the other day was that it's very hard to bring an emotion up unless something triggers that emotion. But in general, when the mind is calm, what's there? Peace, stillness, openness. And this is the nature of who you are. You are that peace, that stillness, that openness. So feel how effortless it is just to be here, that there's nothing you need to do. Just being yourself. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardanyam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mushiyamamritata. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardanyam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mushiyamamritata. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardanyam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mushiyamamritata. So slowly bring your awareness back to your body, gently moving your fingers and your toes. You might like to take a big stretch. When we stretch out and come back, the breath comes back to its natural rhythm. And then rolling to one side, bringing yourself upright, putting your hands on your body somewhere. And remember, you're in your own space. You don't have to come up. If you don't want to, you could stay down and just relax But if you've got a busy day ahead, you might want to come up. Just notice how you feel, letting whatever's there be okay. So thank you so much. Have a super, super wonderful rest of your day.